This video is to show you how to export your calendar and contacts from FirstClass, and so you can get them into Google and Gmail. So first thing we're going to do is launch FirstClass. So I'm using my test account. Okay, I'm logged in. In a previous video we had already exported our mailbox, so right now we're just going to go and click on our calendar, and you can see I just put in a bunch of test calendar items. Okay. What I want to do is, with calendar highlighted, I want to right click on it and say export. Okay. I want to export the selected events and tasks. It's a little misleading. Even though all events and tasks sounds like what I would like to be selected, I want this the default, selected events and tasks. And then my export format, I'm going to say for use with Outlook. Okay, so top one is selected events and tasks, and then I check for use with Outlook. I say OK. It's going to say it wants to, where do you want to save the export file? So I'm going to select my desktop, okay, and I'll just say, I'll call it calendar export. Okay, and you can see it's going to be a CSV, that's a comma separated value file. That's exactly what we want. Doesn't take too long. You can see everything is good. File transfer is completed. I can close. Okay. I'm going to do pretty much the same thing for contacts. If I click on my contacts, you can see I've only got a couple in there just for demonstration purposes. I'm going to right click, I'm going to say export, and for this one, again, I just want the, I'll leave it as vcard. Vcard should be fine. Okay. I'll say OK. It's going to ask me where do I want it. I'm just going to call it contacts, and it's already pointing to my desktop because that's where I had my other one, and save. Okay, so if I click on the details, you can see, yep, it exported some contacts, file transfer is completed, I can close the window. Okay, and that's it. I'm done with FirstClass for now, so we can just get it at FirstClass. Okay, now I'm going to go back to my Google Chrome. Okay, I'll launch it, and I'll go to that website I've been referring to in other videos, www.google.com/a lpsd.ca. Okay, it gives me a different looking sign-in page, well, slightly different looking sign-in page. I'm going to log in as my jason.google that account, but I need my full email address, okay, and then my password. Okay, loads this familiar looking page, right, and I'll click on the little grid up here, and I'm going to go to calendar. It's the first time I'm launching calendar, so it'll just show me, hey, great, thanks. Do I want any reminders? Sure. Actually, I'm just going to cancel out of this. I already know how to use it. First thing I want to do is, by default, I have a calendar called jason.google. Okay, that's the calendar that I want to put all my work events in. So those, I think I had 10 different items in my work calendar. So what I want to do is, from here, I'm going to click on this little arrow, okay, and go to settings. Okay, and then from settings, I'm looking to import a calendar. So I exported one from FirstClass. I want to import it. I'm going to choose import, and it's saying where's the file that you want to import and what calendar do you want it to go to. By default, I want it to go to my Jason Google calendar. It'll be your first name and last name calendar. So I'll choose the file that I exported. It's going to look in a crazy directory, but if I recall, I saved it to my desktop and I called it calendar export. I'll open it. Okay, so it's pointing to that calendar export. The calendar it wants, I've only got one calendar created in Google, so it's my default, my jason.google, that's where I want it to go, and I'll click on import. And it'll say it successfully imported 10 events. Okay, so I'm done here. I can click right here, go back to calendar, okay, and you can see that those test items have arrived. Okay, and if I go to the next week, test, test, test. Okay, and they all show up as a color of my Google Calendar. If I wanted to change the color of this, I could actually just click this down arrow and choose a different color. Maybe work is red for me, and I can, if I wanted to have a calendar, it's like I could make multiple calendars. You can come here and say create a new calendar, and I'm going to call this personal. Okay, and just create it. And we should see that now personal has taken over the blue color. So I could actually, when I go to start, I can share out my work calendar, but not share my personal calendar. But on my phone, I could have my personal calendar come through, but not my work calendar. There's lots of different ways to do it, but it's a nice separation. So that, let's say that I have on Sunday at 12 o'clock, there's something going on. I have a lacrosse game. I don't need to put it in my work calendar. If I'm sharing that with work colleagues, they don't need to know that we have a lacrosse game at 12 o'clock. So I would click here and I would say lacrosse game at service. And the calendar I want to choose is actually my personal calendar. So, and then it's there. Pretty simple. That's how to share your calendar. Getting your contacts in is somewhat similar. We're going to go back to the grid and click on contacts. Okay, and here we've got an import contacts. It wants me to select a file, and if you recall, we saved it as a vCard, so I'm going to go choose file, saved it on the desktop. So where's my vCard? That's what it is, the contacts vCard file. So it's chosen that, import, and there are the two contacts that I had from FirstClass. So that's how to get some contacts and your calendar from your old FirstClass into your new Google Apps and soon to be Gmail. Hope this helps.